Welcome to Scientific Life. If you want to understand how your body truly works and unlock the real science of health, subscribe now. Today, we expose the ultimate truth behind the massive protein obsession. For years, protein has been marketed as the undisputed king of nutrients, the absolute pillar of strength, muscle building, and fat loss. Modern fitness culture tells us that more is always better. From social media fitness influencers to commercial health advertisements, we are constantly bombarded with the same message: double your protein intake to achieve your dream physical performance. It is incredibly easy to believe this narrative because we naturally associate protein with peak physical performance, iron discipline, and clean living. But biology operates on strict limits. However, rigorous scientific evidence paints a far more complex and alarming picture. While protein is absolutely vital for survival, your body cannot process an infinite supply of it. The human body operates as a finely tuned chemical engine. When you push beyond your physiological limits, the benefits of protein quickly vanish, leaving behind a heavy metabolic burden. When you ingest more protein than your muscles and tissues can actually utilize, that massive excess does not just disappear, it cannot be stored as protein for later use. Instead, every single extra gram of protein must be broken down, chemically altered, and safely eliminated. This process forces your internal organs to work at maximum capacity. This intense metabolic breakdown generates highly toxic waste products. It is the biological equivalent of running an industrial factory line at double its recommended speed limit. At first, your body adapts and copes with the overload. But over weeks and months of continuous high protein consumption, the internal wear and tear begins to compound silently. To understand this, we must look at the molecular level. Every single amino acid contains nitrogen. To use protein for energy, your body must first strip away this nitrogen. This deamination process takes place primarily within your liver. The liver must convert the stripped nitrogen into ammonia, a highly toxic chemical compound that must be neutralized. To prevent immediate brain and tissue damage, your liver rapidly converts toxic ammonia into a milder compound called urea, which is then released back into the bloodstream. While this detoxification pathway is incredibly efficient, it is not free. It demands an immense amount of cellular energy, water, and systemic resources every single day. When your protein intake remains excessively high, your liver is locked in a state of perpetual detoxification, leaving less metabolic energy for other vital functions. Once the liver produces urea, the kidneys must take over the burden. The kidneys act as your body's master filtration system, straining out waste products from the blood. To eliminate the massive influx of urea, your kidneys must increase their workload dramatically. This physiological state is known in medicine as glomerular hyperfiltration. Under the pressure of hyperfiltration, the delicate blood vessels within the kidneys expand and experience increased mechanical stress. This is like running water through a pipe at extreme pressure. In healthy individuals, the kidneys can handle this temporary pressure. However, maintaining this extreme workload for years can lead to chronic structural wear and tear. The paradox is profound. The very diet you adopted to build a stronger, healthier body may be slowly and silently compromising the health of your vital filtration organs. While the kidneys filter, the liver remains under constant metabolic strain. The liver is also responsible for managing lipids, glucose, and clearing environmental toxins. When forced to prioritize the detoxification of nitrogenous waste from excess protein, the liver's ability to efficiently process fats and sugars can become impaired. This chronic overload can trigger subclinical hepatic inflammation, a silent condition that has no immediate symptoms but slowly degrades metabolic flexibility over time. Many health enthusiasts have no idea that their high protein, clean diet could actually be contributing to a fatty liver or sluggish hepatic clearance. The lesson here is not that protein is toxic, but that balance is a biological law. Even the most resilient organs in the human body require periods of rest. Let us address the single biggest myth in the entire fitness industry: the belief that eating more protein continuously leads to more muscle growth. Biologically, this is flatly incorrect. Muscle protein synthesis is governed by a strict physiological ceiling. Once this ceiling is saturated, more protein does nothing. For most people, this limit is reached at about 20 to 35 grams of protein per meal. Any amount consumed beyond this threshold is simply oxidized. Instead of building new muscle fibers, the extra amino acids are broken down and burned as expensive fuel, or worse, converted and stored directly as adipose tissue. You cannot bypass your basic genetic and biological blueprint simply by drinking more protein shakes. Muscle growth requires stimulus and rest, not chronic overfeeding. While your liver and kidneys work silently, your digestive system is often the very first to scream for relief when protein intake is excessively high. Diets that are extremely high in protein, particularly from animal sources, are notoriously deficient in dietary fiber, which is crucial for healthy digestion. Without adequate fiber, gut motility slows down dramatically, food moves sluggishly through the colon, leading to chronic constipation, painful bloating, and gas. But the damage goes much deeper than simple discomfort. An overabundance of protein fundamentally alters the delicate ecosystem of your gut microbiome. Beneficial, fiber-loving bacteria begin to starve and die off. Meanwhile, harmful bacteria that thrive on fermenting undigested proteins multiply at an alarming rate. This protein fermentation process produces highly toxic and inflammatory compounds, such as hydrogen sulfide and ammonia, directly inside your intestinal lining. These inflammatory compounds can damage the tight junctions of your gut wall, contributing to systemic inflammation and reducing your ability to absorb nutrients. Ironically, by consuming excessive protein to optimize your health, you may be destroying the very digestive system required to absorb your food efficiently. Persistent bloating, frequent foul-smelling gas, and abdominal heavy feelings are not normal. They are clear warnings that your microbiome is severely unbalanced. To maintain a healthy gut, you must feed your microbiome with diverse dietary fibers, not just endless streams of isolated protein powders and lean meats. Have you ever noticed a deep, unquenchable thirst after consuming a massive, high-protein meal? This is not a coincidence. It is a fundamental physiological response. As we established, processing protein produces vast amounts of urea. To flush this urea out of your system, your kidneys are forced to utilize massive amounts of water. If you do not dramatically increase your fluid intake to compensate, your body will slowly slip into a state of chronic, low-grade, systemic dehydration. This dehydration is highly deceptive. It does not always present as intense thirst. Instead, it manifests as dry mouth, frequent mild headaches, and daytime fatigue. Furthermore, as your kidneys flush out excess water to clear urea, they also excrete vital electrolytes, such as sodium, potassium, and magnesium. This mineral loss disrupts cellular electrical balance, which can lead to painful muscle cramps, poor muscle contraction, and a noticeable drop in athletic performance. Many athletes mistakenly attribute this fatigue and cramping to a lack of training or protein, prompting them to consume even more protein, worsening the cycle. Without sufficient hydration, your blood volume decreases, forcing your heart to work harder to pump oxygen and nutrients to your working muscle tissues. Your body's internal cooling system also suffers. Dehydration impairs sweat production, making you overheat faster during intense training sessions. To protect your health, you must realize that high protein requires high hydration. Water is the essential medium through which all these metabolic wastes are cleared. Another critical but frequently ignored aspect of chronic high protein intake is its long-term impact on your skeletal system and bone mineral density. While dietary protein is necessary to build the structural matrix of bones, an excessive intake, particularly of animal proteins, increases the body's acid load. Animal proteins are rich in sulfur-containing amino acids, such as methionine and cysteine, which generate sulfuric acid when metabolized by the liver. To maintain a highly precise, survival-essential blood pH, your body must rapidly neutralize, or buffer, this sudden influx of metabolic acid. To do this, the body draws alkaline calcium salts directly from your skeletal reserves, This calcium is then used to neutralize the acid and is excreted in urine. This microleaching of calcium does not cause pain or immediate symptoms. However, over decades, this slow process can significantly weaken your bone structure. Numerous scientific studies have confirmed that diets consistently high in animal protein are directly associated with increased calcium loss through urination. This does not mean you should avoid animal protein entirely, but it highlights the critical importance of incorporating alkaline promoting foods into your daily diet. Eating plenty of potassium rich fruits, vegetables, and leafy greens provides the organic anions needed to neutralize metabolic acids, protecting your bones. Muscles may grab all the attention in the mirror, but your bones are the silent scaffolding that makes movement possible. Protect them with nutritional balance. Few people associate their daily protein intake with their emotional state, but your brain chemistry is profoundly sensitive to the balance of nutrients you consume. When you consume an excessive amount of protein, you flood your bloodstream with a massive variety of large, competing amino acids. This molecular traffic jam directly interferes with the transport of tryptophan, a crucial precursor amino acid, across the blood-brain barrier. Without adequate tryptophan entering the brain, your production of serotonin, the master neurotransmitter responsible for mood, calm, and happiness, drops. The physical result of this neurochemical shift is increased irritability, unprovoked anxiety, chronic mild depression, and a general lack of mental peace. Furthermore, because serotonin is the direct precursor to melatonin, your body's sleep hormone, your sleep quality begins to degrade rapidly. You may find yourself feeling physically exhausted at night, yet completely unable to fall into deep, restorative, and healing stages of sleep. This sleep deprivation triggers a rise in cortisol, the primary stress hormone. High cortisol further promotes muscle breakdown and fat accumulation. Once again, the high protein diet designed to optimize your performance creates a vicious neurochemical cycle that actively sabotages your recovery. Your brain, just like your liver and kidneys, operates best in a state of nutritional harmony. Extreme nutritional restriction or excess always comes at a cost. Now, for the good news. Achieving peak health and maintaining your hard-earned muscle mass does not require you to abuse your internal organs with protein. The scientific consensus is highly clear. For the vast majority of active individuals, a daily intake of 1.2 to 1.6 grams per kilogram of body weight is optimal. Consuming protein beyond this scientifically validated range offers zero additional muscle building benefits, while significantly increasing metabolic stress. Instead of obsessing over protein, reallocate those calories toward high fiber, complex carbohydrates, healthy fats, and a rich variety of micronutrients. Ensure you are drinking plenty of clean water throughout the day. Proper hydration is the single easiest way to assist your kidneys in clearing metabolic waste. Remember, your muscles do not actually grow while you are lifting weights or eating. They repair and grow while you are resting and sleeping deeply. The healthiest and most efficient athletes are not those who consume the absolute most, but those who understand and respect their physiological limits. If you found this scientific breakdown valuable, our next analysis will absolutely shock you. What actually happens to your kidneys when you consume too much salt? Click the video on your screen right now to discover the hidden dangers of sodium. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever tried a high-protein diet? Do not forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Keep your curiosity alive, respect your biological limits, and protect the only body you have.